I asked a question on the Lexus SportCross Facebook group if the trailer hitch from the sedan fits on the SportCross, and the answer was a resounding maybe. A lot of yeses, a lot of no's, so we're going to find out today. I've got trailer hitch assembly from our favorite 5-letter country. Got it on eBay. It looks exactly like the one I put on my sedan. Still a class 1 hitch, 2,000 pound capacity, 200 pound tongue weight. It's exactly the same as the one on my very, very well used sedan. So I know it works on that car very well. So let's find out. First thing we're going to do is disassemble the interior. Here's our trunk. Nice factory seam sealer. This car is a super clean California car. About as nice as they get. Huh, should the sedan have this piece of rubber in it? I wonder. Should probably vacuum this before I go much further. But let's put it up and find out if our trailer hitch fits underneath. Back here we have the heat shield next to the exhaust. That should be fun to take down. And this side, I believe it bolts into this tow hook point. So this panel will have to come down too for a little while at least. The back panel here is a little different than the sedan now that I'm looking at it. I've only bottomed it out once or twice. So we'll see. Nice thing about California and Texas cars, they don't disintegrate when you try to unbolt stuff because they're not rust buckets. All right, let's see what happens. This might work. Or it might not. Like this may require trimming of the bumper, which would be very unfortunate. This car has a really nice original rear bumper on it. Do not want to do any damage to it if I can help it. Old plastic clips to suck. Come on. Jesus. Those are getting replaced. Good gravy, these things are horrendous. Damn Subaru.
like that with autocross.
Factory exhaust hanger nuts are E16s if your car's unmolested and original. I know my sedan they were not, but it's a Chicago car. So satisfying when they just come undone like they're supposed to and don't just break. Stay just like that, very gently. 10, 10, 10. Exhaust heat shield nuts are 10s. Can't promise as anybody else's will come down any easier, but thank God for California cars. I didn't think my car had that one. Put this back here. replace that. Yes. Oh, that was the rest of that clip. That sucks. Come on, Pop. Come on. There. Doing that. We're 100% not doing that. That goes in like that. Come on. Here we go. It goes in like that. This goes in here like this. Jesus Christmas. Alright. So, that's not terrible. The same as a sedan. Eat? No, you don't. Alright, now we have one issue which looks like these bolt holes don't quite line up. I don't know if that's because that plate's not welded on square, because this is a quality $120 Hitch from eBay. The other side looks quite good. The other side is pretty much where it needs to be for this to work. We'll put a couple washers in there, spacers I think, but the big issue is going to be the bottom of the bumper cover is going to have to get trimmed to accommodate that. Which isn't the end of the world. I hate that they don't reproduce these damn bumper covers, but I'm going to mark it and trim it and see if I can come up with a template that will look halfway decent. It is on the bottom of the car, and this bumper cover is definitely seen some stuff in its life. But overall, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna might try to bend that a little bit, see if I can get it to where it needs to be. But it does actually fit within the confines of the body, and it is pretty much dead center where it sits. So we're looking pretty good so far. Stay. Completely unsurprising. Come on. Completely unsurprising. That's not particularly square. That's the opposite of that. So definitely a yeah, you can see that plate is not welded on there particularly straight. Big surprise. It's $120 from eBay. That's what I expect. That was shockingly easy to bend in a bench vise. I might have overdone it, but we'll find out. Hey, look at that, it lines up now. Lines up pretty well, actually. And now, as designed, it's got a little bit of side to side, so you can get your fitment correct. So that's a plus. And I'm using the stock toe point bolts. And I'll probably put the other one back in that hole because that might be a wind whistle at 80 miles an hour. I mean, I don't go to that. Oh no, that's legal in Texas. Never mind. Totally do that. A little bit more. The reason I say that, not quite lined up with our factory holes. We're pretty close though. We're pretty darn close. And this side's got 2 bolts in it. This side is nice up and tight against the body. So once I get this bumper trimmed to where it's happy, I'm gonna do some sacrilegious things, or more sacrilegious things, and drill some holes in a perfectly clean tub. But that's what they make welders for. And full disclosure, this car is my daily, but I am in the slow process of restoring it, panel by panel, bit by bit, because I want to keep it nice. Well, if anybody's got a cheap factory LSD laying around for an automatic, all right, so what we've got now, aside from this not being quite bolted in place, I ended up doing just a curved section, about 1.5 inches in both sides between the 2 factory tabs. So get nice clearance. Once that's sanded down, nobody will ever know it's not supposed to be like that. So I'm going to tighten up the hardware and mark some holes for the bolts through the body. And like a good owner of many classic Japanese shit boxes, got lots of these. Panel clips, tons of them on Amazon. The best way to solve most trim problems. Well, this is an issue probably mainly for this trailer hitch and not the car. As you can see, that's not perfectly square with the body, but this is. So whoever welded this probably has never seen a set square in their life, but it's okay. And this side's bolted up nice and tight. So we can go ahead and drill the 3 holes in the body back here. And then that should be it. I am going to put the other bolt back in this hole. Less noises. The only thing I really don't like is this tab right here is under a little bit more tension than I would like, being up against the bottom of the hitch. But I don't think that's too much of a problem. It's not under a ton. I can still flex it, but it's under more than I would necessarily like. Well, it's not the end of the world, but to answer the original question, yes, the sedan trailer hitch does fit on the SportCross with a slight amount of modification, maybe a little bit more than the sedan. Admittedly, it has been quite a long time since I did the one on my sedan. It's probably 10 years ago, easily. So this looks broadly the same, although it's not nearly as nice. I think the one that I have on my sedan is a Kurt or one of those other name brand ones, unlike this cheapie, which I bought mainly because if I had to return it or it couldn't get returned, $120, it won't kill me. I won't like it, but it won't kill me. And then when the time comes that I repaint this, I will probably clean this edge up a bit more. It is, again, about as straight as a Nürburgring. Could be worse for just a random afternoon with a keyhole saw. But it's not putting any big strain on here, a little bit right there, but still has some flex. I know cutting up a original SportCross bumper is about as sacrilegious as it gets. Figure as long as there's one perfect one somewhere, they don't need a breeding pair. And I plan to tow with this car, so there's that. Torque 3/8 fasteners to 45 foot-pounds and M12 to 86. Good and tight sounds good. Yeah, definitely says sedan, but that's okay because they only sold 3,100 of these in the US. Not sure there's going to be a lot of SportCross specific ones. Came with a hitch pin. Alright, so it specifically says 4 bolts on this side with a little spacer plate in there. So it shouldn't be too hard to figure out where everything needs to go. Safety third. smart. Let's put a bolt in there so it can't move. Despite the fact that I have everything I need in this shop, I didn't have 3/8 fender washers, but I have 7/16, and I'll just double up. So at least there'll be a little bit more load distribution on these bolts. And this silly little plate goes in here. Our 4 bolts are now in. We're going to go back into the car, get the other side done. There's our bolt head sticking through. There's our bolt head sticking through the body. Looks like they're reasonably long enough, although I might swap this one and this one because that length kind of sucks. And there we go. The washers, it did deform this area just a little bit, pulling that towards it. If you really wanted to be sure that was perfect, you could have spaced it with washers or anything like that, but little deformity is not going to be the end of the world on that. On this side, nothing happens. It looks perfect. All right, just got to put it back together. And we got an IS300 with a trailer hitch. And I was exactly right. A longer bolt in that position would absolutely be a problem with the spare tire. Yes, the spare tire in this car is extremely ugly because the one it came with is not correct part. Like wrong wheel lug pattern and everything. So this is a leftover from my sedan. That. These incredibly silly things. Here's something. The floor plates on these cars are so freaking silly. It's like something BMW would come up with. In there. That's cute. Genuine Lexus first aid kit. holes drilled. They gave us 2 lock washers to go under the factory bolts where the tie down point was. They're flange bolts, they do not need that. The rest of these use these really wimpy washers that go up against the inside of the body, the tub. I'm going to replace these with something a little bit fatter just because I don't want it tearing out of the tub since these cars are made of paper. Shield goes back up. Take the cobwebs down. All right. Well, slight issue. That flange bolt can't go back in all the way because it hits on that. But that's okay. We'll put a little piece of tape over that so it doesn't whistle. We'll be okay. Okay. No silly noises. do have two different Milwaukee impact guns. One is a brushless, one is not. One is really good at breaking small hardware, and one is not. Brushless is really good at breaking small hardware. I tend not to use it for that. But for everything else, it kicks ass. I'm a little disappointed this panel's broken, but I suspect I hit a cone or two at the autocross I took it to 2023. Whoops. Just have to put these trim panels back together and we'll be looking good. Come on. There. Hey. There you go. All right, that's it. That's a trailer hitch on an IS. So, a bit of a faff having to take all the rear bumper trim off and all that fun stuff. But all the factory splash pads went back up. The bumper's unmolested aside from a little trim to the bottom here, which nobody will notice. Stock heat shield's in place. There's no evidence whatsoever. No evidence whatsoever that plate is bolted anywhere. Fits in there real nice. Everything else is in place. It looks like an IS300 SportCross with a trailer hitch.